Hello and welcome everyone to the daily news analysis of 20th of November 2023. Important article जो है Aussies ride on Editon clinches sixth crown. Assam CM triggers name game for baby giraffe in zoo. Then Kerala to expand farming of GI tagged Ona to Kara sesame tearing road safety in India back on the right lane, making public education inclusive. Telangana leads in economic indicator lags in social measures. The role of the governor in legislature. Then what is the status of the Georgia election fraud case? IAF chief stresses need to invest in new technologies. Then IMF Nurses Association honored with Indira Gandhi Peace Prize. 77 Indian military personnel in Maldives packed reviewed. Then chimeras host to multiple genotypes and may be human organs. तो ये 12 आर्टिकल वन बाय वन देखते हैं. पहला जो है ओसिस राइड ऑन हेडी टॉन क्लीन से सिक्स्थ क्राउन. An airy silence descended at a packed venue with more than 90,000 fans as Australia boasted India's dream. The light dimmed on the men in blue as they are cheering on in the World Cup ground to halt as Australia twinned in the summit class at the Narendra Modi Stadium here on Sunday night. After restricting India to 2040 on a sluggish pitch, Pat Cummins and his men survived some anxious moments before arriving the winning post with opener Travis Head's splendid 137 runs, 120 balls, 50 fours and 4 sixes. Anchoring the chase, the visitors scored 241 for 4 in 43 overs and won by 6 wickets. Nervous start. Australia made a nervous start as David Warner as a 4 enough slips of Jasprit Bumrah before head pounded two fours. Mohammad Sami then scalped Warner Wednesday went stopped for a six by Mitchell Marsh and then saw his partner Bumrah prize out the batter. Steve Smith drove a lovely four off Bumrah and immediately found his pads ruffled right in the front. At 47 for 3, Australia needed an alliance to quell the nerves in the dressing room. Southpaw head and Manas Labuchan 58 stayed together, initially playing as straight as possible, and once Bumrah and Sami's fast spell were over, but nimble on their feet and ran hard, allowing Labos Sangain to settle. Had lofted Kuldeep Yadav for 6 and when Mohammad Siraj dug in short, he just pulled a 4. Rohit Sharma then played Sami into service and had greeted him with a 4 and in the speedsters next over the batter tagged the square leg fence for a 4 when Bumrah came back had dished out the same treatment as the sorry. In the afternoon, Cummins won the toss, opted to field, and his counterpart Rohit waded into juice. Hazelwood, the Indian captain, drilled two fours, hoisted a six, smooth another four as Hazelwood's first spell was said to beats during this mayhem. Gill Temple fell to Mitchell Stark. Virat Kohli walked in, greeted by the customary roar, and Rohit was his usual self-sinking, striking a six for Stark. Kohli joined at the act, hitting three consecutive fours of the spearhead. Rohit 47. Then did a 6-4 routine against the Glenn Maxwell, and while attempting another six, found a diving head pouch the sticker. Cummins then lured an edge from Shreyas Iyer, an 81 for 3 in 10.2 overs. Indeed needed a partnership. Kohli and KL Rahul buckled down while the Australian fielded with Tiger is Jill. Kohli went past his 50 and in a while the 67-run steady fourth wicket partnership concluded Kohli 54 while trying to defend a short delivery from Cummins saw the ball drop on the stump. It took an eternity for a shocked Kohli to leave. Next man Jadeja edged Hazelwood and Rahul after scoring a Kosos 66 failed to stack. Australia kept it tight all through and later owned the night. The next day, Assam CM trigger name game for baby giraffe in zoo. Assam Chief Minister Himant Biswa Sarma has triggered a game of suggesting names for giraffe born in the Assam State Zoo cum Botanical Garden, also known as the Guwahati Zoo, taking to eggs on Sunday. He announced the birth of a female calf born to Vijay, a male giraffe brought from Mysore in 2019, and Vijay, the female from Patna in 2022. The giraffe were brought under the Animal Exchange Program. Happy to share that the Assam State Zoo has been blessed with a cute baby giraffe just 3 days ago. Any suggestion from for naming the newborn? Dr. Sharma wrote the sharing two photos of a calf. He did not mention the calf's gender. The netizen flooded his handle with names to choose from. Babukon if it is a male, Maluti if it is a female. User suggested while another said Apurba meaning a rare in Sanskrit would be apt since giraffes are rare in India. Name it after CM. Yet another user suggested that the calf be named after the CM, Chief Minister, as you are cute too, sir. A fourth suggested that the calf be named after the player of the match of Sunday's Cricket World Cup final. Joe's divisional forest officer Ashwini Kumar said the birth of the calf was special since the giraffe had been born in Assam for the first time. The baby is healthy and so is the mother, he said. The next day, Kerala to expand farming of the GI tagged Ona to Kara sesame. Efforts are being made to expand the cultivation of geographical indication tagged Onatu Kara sesame in Al- Alappuzha district of Kerala. Authorities have announced an initiative scheme for growing sesame on fields and homesteads in the Thekera Thekekara Krishi Bhavan limits. Mavalinkara Thekekara Gram Panchayat President K. Mohan Kumar said a financial assistance of 40 rupees for a cent of land would be given to farmers for cultivating sesame. The project, which was launched recently, is a joint initiative involving the local Krishi Bhavan, Ona Tukara Bikasan Agency (OVA), Onatokara Regional Agricultural Research Station, Krishi Vigyan Kendra, Kanyakumari, Kanya, sorry, Kayam Kayamkulam and Mavelikara Thekekara Panchayat. Mr. Mohan Kumar said seeds would be distributed from the Thekekara Krishi Bhavan and the sesame produced under the scheme would be produced by the OVA at the market price. Individuals, farming collectives, Kudum, Kudumbasiri groups, self-help groups, and jointly liability groups will be given initiatives for cultivation, said the Panchayat president. The Onatukara sesame is currently grown on around 600 acres spread across 43 local bodies in the three districts of Alappuzha, Kollam, and Pathanamthitta. An analysis by Kerala Agriculture University revealed that sesame grown in the region contains high levels of vitamin E and antioxidants. The next is steering road safety in India back onto the right lane. India's road and India's roads are a paradox. They represent an enormous and growing opportunity to commute and connect to transport and travel. They go hand in hand with the country's modernization and impressive economic progress. In this context, India has some of the greatest opportunity to build a strong road safety management framework with strong helmet producers, car manufacturers, big tech, and large road investment. And yet, is as in many countries, they are also the source of silent but deadly pandemic. Each year, a staggering 3 lakh people are estimated to be killed on the road in India, according to the United Nations World Health Organization. That is equivalent to more than 34 people every hour of every day, and that is a conservative estimate. The number of people suffering life altering injuries in the road crashes is exponentially higher even than that. Beyond human suffering, there is a serious economic toll. In India, road crashes are estimated to cost between 5% and 7% of national GDP. In India and the wider region in which it sits is far from alone. Road safety is a global problem with 1.3 billion people killed in road crashes every year, but almost one in every four road deaths are around the world takes place in India. World Day of Remembrance. As the planet commemorates the World Day of Remembrance for road traffic victims on November 19 to provide a platform for road traffic victims and their families to remember, support and act, such figures should serve as a wake-up call to all of us. We need immediate, coordinated and evidence-based interventions to boost road safety and drastically reduce the daily human tragedies behind the alarming statistics. This will require static investment in road safety measures, concerted political will at the national, state, and local levels, and a change of collective mindsets. After all, every one of us is a road user in some way. To understand and tackle the scale and importance of the challenge. Last week, the government released a report that 2022 was the most fatal year for traffic crashes in India. Focus areas for better safety. Priority areas must include enforcing the use of seat belts not just for drivers but also for their passengers. Wearing a seat belt reduces the risk of death among drivers and front seats occupants by 45 to 50%, and the risk of death and serious injuries almost among near seat occupants by 25%. Similarly, helmet use must be enforced among motorcycles, cyclists as well as their pillion passengers. Correct helmet use can lead to a 42% reduction in the risk of fatal injuries. Indeed, vulnerable road users, who include pedestrians, cyclists, and riders of the two-wheelers, account for almost three-quarters of road deaths in India. And passengers unbelted in the back seats are not only risk to themselves upon impact but also to those in the front seats. Speeding must be reduced, and there can be no tolerance for drink driving. A recent report by the government revealed that speeding led to 70% of India's road crash deaths. Road infrastructure should be enhanced. Too many roads are not in a safe condition. Although government programs in recent years have led to rapid improvements, and large-scale public awareness campaigns such as the new UN Global Campaign for Road Safety make a safety statement involving international celebrities must be undertaken to secure behavioral changes. To call to actions is not new. The Sustainable Development Goals created in 2015 include a target 3.6 to have the number of global deaths and injuries from the road crashes, and a call to make public transport safer, more affordable, and more accessible to all. The good news is that we are already seeing steps in the right direction in India. The national government's implementation of the Motor Vehicle Amendment Act 2019 and enhanced data collection from road crashes are impactful measures that will help experts better understand where, and why crashes are occurring, and therefore how to reduce them. The UN helmet policy in the major cities such as the capital New Delhi are adopting modern technologies such as intelligent traffic management system to effectively regulate traffic flows in a much better way and minimize the potential for collision. To help increase access to safe helmet, the special envoy has worked with helmet producers to produce a low-cost ventilated United Nations standard helmet for under $20, including here in India. Private sector companies are searching for solutions. This is only right. We cannot export to succeed if we do not have a full of society effort to improve road safety, but we are still only at the start of the journey. Your chances of surviving a road crash can vary enormously depending on what state you live in and what access you have to high quality emergency care service and proper aftercare. We also need to look increasingly at international best practices and successes and then adapt them to India's specific needs and circumstances. Road safety is a complex and multi-dimensional challenge, but the benefit that come with addressing it can be equally profound. What we need is a comprehensive safe system approach and envisaged in the UN's second decade of action for road safety 2021-2030 and a full implementation of Motor Vehicle Amendment Act 2019. Ending the silent pandemic of road injuries will only not only save lives but also strengthen the economy and improve the quality of life for everyone. Then next, making the public education inclusive. There is no denying that education is a human right. It ought to be accessible and affordable for all sections of society so that development is a truly inclusive. Yet a study by IIM Ahmedabad's Right to Education Resource Center confirmed that the well-known but disconcerting truth that the parents lack trust in government schools due to poor quality of education and prefer to admit their children into private schools even if that means spending significantly more on tuitions and other fees. However, the Odisha government's revolutionary reforms in the state public education sector through the Odisha Adarsh Vidyalaya (UAV), the Mo School Abhiyan, and the 5T High School Transformation Program are on their way to making government schools better than private schools in all parameters: infrastructure, affordability, and quality. English medium education world India School Ranking 2022-23 ranked the UAV in Pulasara block of Ganjam district is the fifth best school in the government run day school category and two more UAVs among the top 10 in order to address the struggle faced by the students in securing admission to Kendriya Vidyalaya schools after the first standard. UAVs provide admission at the secondary stage. Odisha's UAV model aims to bridge the rural-urban gap by providing accessible, qualitative and affordable English medium education. There are 315 English medium co-ed UAVs in all 314 blocks in rural and semi-urban areas. As of February 2023, they ensure representation of for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and female students through reservation. This has led to a higher enrollment of female students 43,410 compared to males 30,949. 31 vulnerable children who had been victims of child abuse, trafficking, child labor, and child marriage were rescued and prepared for the UAV entrance in 2021. UAVs also provide different type of coaching facilities to enable students crack national level tests. 24 UAV students cracked the NEET exam in the July 2023. UAVs have promoted social equity by providing a level playing field to students from rural and poor socio-economic background to address pedagogical gaps. The UAV model focuses on continuous teacher education programs and maintains a teacher-pupil ratio of 1.25. It has also leveraged digital technology to enhance the accountability and transparency of the system. The enterprise resource planning system and OAV Sangathan website help track the academic and non-academic progress of the each child alongside monitoring the performance of each school, enabling timely strategic intervention plans are effort to transform the OAVs into scientifically upgraded centers of excellence to foster an ecosystem of innovation and inquiry driven learning. The Alumni Connect. In 2017, Odisha launched the Mo School Abhiyan, a one of its kind initiative that strives to motivate and mobilize the alumni community to contribute towards revamping the government schools in Odisha founded on five pillars: connect, collaborate, contribute, create, and celebrate. The program connects the school with alumni from various fields and promote alumni mentorship for the students, deeper collaboration between the alumni school authorities and the district administration facilities students. Exposure to exchange programs, sports and cultural events and also helps in creating stronger infrastructure. More than 33,000 schools in about 30 districts in Odisha have seen engagement from the over 6 lakh alumni members under the Mo School Abhiyan. The school adoption program SAP under the above program enables the alumni to make financial contribution to the school adopted by them. More than 5.5 lakh contributors including ministers, MP and MLAs, bureaucrats, professionals and judges have contributed more than 797 crore rupees in 40,855 schools. High School Transformation. The 5T High School Transformation Program is rooted in the 5T concept of transparency, technology, teamwork, and timeliness leading to transformation. Launched in 2021, the program focuses on the adoption of educational technology in the form of smart and digital classroom, e-libraries, modern sciences laboratories, improved sanitation facilities, and a sports facility in all high school. As of today, a total of 6,872 high schools have been transformed at cost of 3,411 crore rupees. The program also caters to needs of specially abled children. It provides assistive device and tailored teaching learning material for students with autism, cerebral palsy, and intellectual disabilities. The government has also launched a campaign like More School Hockey Clubs and Football for All, thus enabling holistic development of school students' personalities. The proactive approach to transforming the education system has led to an unprecedented shift in enrollment patterns. In 2019-20, private schools had 16 lakh 5,000 students. In 2021-22, this number dwindled to 14 lakh 62,000. Currently, 81% of students in the states are studying in the government schools. The interventions by the Odisha government led by Navin Patnaik have ensured that education is treated as a public good in essence and spirit, and have created a strong legacy of an education model founded on equality and excellence. The next is Telangana leads in economic indicators, lags in social measures. The Telangana Assembly election are scheduled to take place on November 30. A comparison of the economic, social, and environmental indicators of the poll-bound state with the indicators of other states shows that Telangana economic performance is better than many states. However, this has not translated into better outcomes in measures related to women empowerment and child development. Many social indicators women empowerment and child development. In fact, across many social indicators, the state features at the bottom half of the rankings. Also, its performance worsened between 2015-16 and 1920. Temporal comparison across many indicators were not possible as Telangana is a relatively new state. Table 1 shows Telangana's rank in social indicators and its actual score in a parameter in 2019-21 and 15-16. It also lists the change in the Telangana's rank in 1921 from 15-16. The top three states in a parameter are also given for comparison. For instance, Telangana had 21.7% of wasted children low weight for age in 1921 and ranked as 26 out of 30 states. The three best states year that year where Punjab 10.6% of stunted children, Haryana 11.5%, and Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand 13.2%. Telangana's ranking fell by the 10 spots in 1921 from 1516, the year when it was placed 16th out of 30 states on indicators of women empowerment. Telangana's performance has been among the worst. For instance, as only 60.9% of the female population aged 6 years and above had ever attended schools. Telangana ranked the lowest of all the 30 states analyzed in 1921, close to 3.5% of women aged 20 to 24 years were married before 18 years of age, and in 2019-21 Telangana ranked 23 out of 30 in both these indicators. The rankings slid compared to 15-16. The state's ranking declined by 5 spots in infant mortality, by 6 spots in the share of underweight children, and by 5 spots in the share of households where any member is covered under a health insurance financing scheme between 2015-16 and 1921. In most of the social indicators analyzed in Table 1, Telangana did not feature in top 10 except insurance coverage. The state performed relatively better in educational parameter. It is featured in top half of the ranking list in the category of enrollment rates across various stages of school education. In fact, in adjusted net enrollment ratio in elementary education class 1 to 8 and general enrollment ratio in higher education, the state featured in the top 10 in 2020. Telangana ranked fourth in terms of per capita net state domestic product and current prices for 21-22. Table 3 in the state, 26% of the population was the lowest to wealth quintiles. Telangana ranked 13 of the 30 states analyzed. Table 4, the manufacturing sector contributed 11.5% of the state GBA and provided enrollment to 12.9% of the state's total workforce. Table 5, while the state is among the leaders in the country in the term of economic performance, the growth came at a cost as Telangana lagged behind on environment related indicators. The state generated the seventh highest amount of hazardous waste, on average 9.93 metric tons per 1,000 people in 2018. It also generated the fifth highest plastic waste in the country, 4.94 tons per 1,000 people in 1819. As economic performance did not translate much into social development, the state ranked 17 of 30 in the Human Development Index in 21. However, this was still better than the performance of the divided Andhra Pradesh, which was ranked even lower as 21 spot. Then next is the role of the governor in legislature. Tamil Nadu Governor R.N. Ravi has withheld action for certain bills passed by the Tamil Nadu Legislature Assembly. This follows the Supreme Court expressing serious concerns about the inaction by the governor on bills presented for his assent. The court expressed displeasure on similar delays by Governor of Telangana, Punjab, and Kerala. What does the Constitution say? Article 200 of the Constitution lays down that when a bill passed by a state legislature is presented to the governor for their assent, they have four alternatives: may give assent to the bill, may withhold assent to the bill, that is, reject the bill, in which case the bill fails to become a law, may return the bill if it is not a money bill for reconsideration of the state legislature, or may reserve the bill for consideration of the President, as held by the Supreme Court in various cases, including the Shamsher Singh case 1974. The governor does not exercise their discretionary power while withholding assent of returning a bill to the state legislature. They are required to act as per the advice of the Council of Ministers. The situation of the withholding assent may arise in case of private member's bill. Any member of the state legislature other than a minister passed by the state legislature, which Council of Ministers do not want to be enacted into a law. In such a instance, they would advise the governor to withhold assent. However, this is an unlikely scenario as the Council of Ministers, who enjoy a majority in the Legislative Assembly, would not allow the passage of such a bill. Secondly, if the incumbent government whose bill has been passed by the legislature falls or resigns before it is assented to by the governor, the new council may advise the governor to withhold the assent. The return of any bill to state legislature for reconsideration is also be done based on the ministerial advice. However, governors in the past have exercised their discretion in returning bills, like the Tamil Nadu governor with respect to the bill prohibiting online gambling. However, the governor shall assent to such a bill if it is passed again by the state legislature. The governor must have reserved certain bills, like those which reduce the powers of the High Court for consideration of the President. They may also reserve the bills on concurrent list that are repugnant to a union law based on mutual advice. It is also only under rare circumstances that the governor may exercise their discretion where they feel that the provisions of the bills will contravene the provision of the constitution and there should be reserved for the consideration of the president. It must however be noted that the constitution does not lay down any time limit within which the governor is required to make a decision. What were the recommendations? The Sarkaria Commission 1987 has submitted that it is only the reservation of bills for consideration of the president that two under rare cases of unconstitutionality that can be implied as a discretionary power of governor. Save is such exceptional cases, the governor must discharge his functions under Article 200 as per advice of the minister. If it is further recommended that the president should dispose of such bills within a maximum period of 6 months, in the event of the president withholding assent, the reason should be communicated to the state government whether possible. The Panchi Commission 2010 had recommended that the governor should take a decision with respect to a bill presented for their assent within a period of 6 months. However, these recommendations have not been implemented till date. How can these impasses be resolved? The underlying disease that has plagued our federal setup has been the politicization of the governation post governation post. Many political leaders, starting from the CN Annadurai to Nitish Kumar, have called for the abolition of the governor's post in the past. However, as per our constitutional scheme, there is a need for a nominal head of the state executive, just like the president for the union executive. Further, the governor acts as an appointee of the center, who may be required for maintaining the unity and integrity of the nation in critical times. However, federalism is a basic feature of our constitution, and governor's office should not undermine the powers of elected governments as the states. As the Supreme Court observed, it is necessary for the governor and chief minister to do a little bit of soul searching. The constitution may be amended to provide that the chief minister shall be consulted before appointment of the governor. The recommendation of the Punchi Commission that the governor may be removed through an impeachment by the state legislature can also be considered. This would arm the state legislature with the power to remove the uncooperative governor. These amendments would have a salutary effort on the central and state governments, resulting on responsible cooperation in the matters of appointment and functioning of the governor. The next, what is the status of Georgia election fraud case? The Georgia state election fraud case, where former US President Donald Trump and 8 allies were criminally indicted in August, has returned to center stage following a string of plea deals struck with the Fulton County District Court. By late October, 4 out of the 8 defendants, 3 lawyers and a bail bondsman, pleaded guilty to abetting abetting a conspiracy to subvert the 2020 presidential election in Georgia, where Mr. Trump lost to President Biden. Who are these Georgia witnesses? On October 19, lawyer Sidney Powell pleaded guilty to six misdemeanors following accusation of a conspiracy to internationally interfere with the conduct of election. One of Mr. Trump's closest allies, Mr. Powell, had, in the aftermath of the 2020 presidential race, advanced the theory that the Dominion voting machinery company, in collusion with Venezuelan intelligence, conspired to flip the ballot to Trump's opponent. This is to the claim that lies at the heart of several federal suits she filed. Only be subsequently diminished. Mrs. Powell had then counseled Mr. Trump to hand over the country's voting machines to the military and return to the presidential contest. Another potential witness against Mr. Trump could be Jenna Ellis from Colorado, also a lawyer, and social media activist. On October 24, Mrs. Ellis pleaded guilty to a felony count of amplifying the false claims made about the election before the state senate by co-defendants, including Trump's personal lawyer Rudy Giuliani. Among these staggering statement that more than 10,000 dead people had voted, that thousands of mail-in ballots had been counted enormously, and that thousands of felons had illegally exercised their franchise in Georgia. Mrs. Ellis admitted in her plea the deal that she had failed to do due diligence on veracity of the information. A third pro-Trump lawyer, Kenneth Chesebro, has also pleaded guilty to a single felony charge of conspiracy of filling false documents in a deal that saw all the other charges dropped, including conspiracy to commit first degree forgery and impersonating a public officer. In the chaos that ensued in the 2020 elections, Mr. Chesebro earned notoriety as one of the masterminds behind the so-called fake electors scheme designed to circumvent the outcome in the seven states. Under this plan, Republican Party officials posed as pro-Trump electors with fake documents and competed with pro-Biden electors to pronounce a Trump victory. The rationale behind the scheme was to so confusion at the time of certification of electoral college results, alleged voter fraud, and ultimately overturn the outcome in Mr. Trump's favor. What next? The plea deals the four have negotiated in the exchange for agreeing to cooperate in the trial and testify against other defendants. Possibly escaping jail sentence could prompt some of the others to turn themselves over. The more the numbers of such pleas, the greater the prospect of the prosecution isolating Trump loyalists for a successful trial. Rudy Giuliani, Mr. Trump's former personal lawyer Mark Meadow, the former White House chief of staff, and conservative attorney John Eastman were all prominent figures in the campaign to circumvent the 2020 election verdict. The sordid affairs eventually culminated in January 6, 2021, mob violence on Capitol Hill. What about the federal indictment relating to the election fraud? The Georgia indictment is independent from a separate federal indictment authorized by a grand jury in August on former president's bid to cling to power, headed by special counsel Jack Smith. The investigation in a Washington federal district court has charged Mr. Trump with conspiracy to defraud the U.S. to disenfranchise voters and attempting to obstruct an official proceeding. The special counsel has so far sought to indict only Mr. Trump and has defined six co-conspirators who are not mentioned by name. The lawyer Mr. Chesebro and Mrs. Powell, who secured a plea deal in Georgia, are among the six unindicted co-conspirators in the federal indictment. The next day, IAF chief stresses need to invest in new technologies. Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary on Sunday stressed the need for the investment in new and disruptive technologies, speaking at the session on aerospace and defense in the Synergia Conclave 2023. The Indian Air Force chief said it is imperative that we invest in new and disruptive technologies and identify innovative solutions for their application in the aerospace domain. Air Chief Marshal Chaudhary said that for this to happen, it would require a joint and consolidated effort on the part of all stakeholders. It will require a joint and consolidated effort on the part of all stakeholders, including defense, PSUs, private industries, academia, and all other, to facilitate the process of aligning technology that will enable our armed forces to emerge victorious in any future conflict. He said the IF chief said artificial intelligence might not replace human intelligence. Ingenuity and technological innovations could ensure enhanced survivability, the flexibility of machinery, and effective combat for winning strategies. Technology can be applied in terms of stealth, self-healing structure, powerful health monitoring and diagnostic system, and more efficient engines. Therefore, AI and machine learning can facilitate improvement within the aerospace and defense sectors. The IAF chief said the multiple project. He said the IAF was deeply involved in multiple projects across domains such as space, and that it was working towards enhancing its own capabilities on the application of disruptive technology. He said a conventional knowledge would lead to incremental change, but the innovative use of converging technology would lead to exponential change. He said the conversion of technology rather than individual technologies has proven to become changer on the battlefield today. So friends, this is all for today and we will meet from tomorrow onwards with new news articles. So thank you. Thanks a lot.